Hello, this is Maureen White with South Carolina Legal Services, bringing you the third installment for National Consumer Protection Week on the subject of bankruptcy. Today is going to be Chapter 13 Day, and Chapter 13 is also known as the wage earners bankruptcy or the reorganization. It was given the name wage earners because you must have regular, consistent income from a number of sources. It does not have to be a job. If you get Social Security, that's sufficient. Any kind of disability is sufficient. Anything that is regular and consistent. It is called a reorganization in that you will agree to a plan which has a duration of 3 to 5 years. And during these 3 to 5 years, you are not permitted to incur debt, sell assets. You must continuously maintain income, and you may be asked at any time to provide your tax returns so that the trustee is monitoring your consistent income. This is good for several reasons. Number one, because the reorganization plan takes so long, from 3 to 5 years, you're left with a discipline that you didn't have likely going into the bankruptcy. You've learned how to live without credit cards, you've learned how to live without debts, and you've learned how to maintain a budget that depended on your success. So I like that term, reorganization. It is a great chapter to file under these circumstances. You're behind in your house payment. You may or may not be in foreclosure. You're behind in your car payment. You may be in fear of repossession. You're behind in child support, and you really want to bring that current and start fresh to avoid loss of job or incarceration. You're upside down in a car payment that you purchased over 2.5 years ago, and you'd really rather pay the value rather than the excessive debt that you got yourself into because of high interest. You want to reinstate your license. You may have suffered a license suspension because of a lapse in insurance that did not result in serious bodily harm that may be compromising your ability to work. All of these items are reasons to file a Chapter 13. It, just like in a 7, it immediately stays all actions and allows you to resume your mortgage payment. Creditor has no choice but to accept it, treat your loan as current, and you would then work out a plan where you pay the arrearage to the trustee. It would allow you to value that car you purchased over 2.5 years ago and pay an interest rate set by the court, which is right now 6.25% versus the 25-30% you may be paying. It allows you to bring that child support current, pay that child support, not be afraid to appear in court for fear of being arrested. It'll allow you to reinstate the license immediately while you work towards getting everything taken care of with the DMV. 3 to 5 years is a long time, but when you succeed, you really have succeeded. So let's talk about the trustee in the Chapter 13 plan. In the Chapter 7, the trustee was seeking assets that he could potentially take the equity from to distribute for creditors. The trustee in the Chapter 13, in my opinion, is much more maternalistic. They want you to succeed. Their business depends on you succeeding. They want you to do this while not compromising the interests of the creditors. So they look at several things, and they give you time to provide all these things. Is your income enough? Is it sufficient to pay your immediate living expenses, such as your utilities, your mortgage, your insurances, food, school expenses, and still pay into a plan? They call this feasibility. If it's not, they're not looking to put you in a hardship situation where you can't succeed. They may ask you to surrender that one car, or they may ask you to consider additional income. They are not really tolerant of paying for adult children's education. They feel this takes away from your ability to pay your debts. So they will try to work with you. It sometimes takes as long as 6 months to get that trustee a plan that they like, that they'll approve, that they find feasible. In that 6 months' time, have I told clients to go out and get a part-time job? Yeah. Have I told them to charge their adult children rent? Yes. In the end, do we get a confirmed plan? Absolutely. But it's not immediate, so it's not like we have to do everything within a week. We can take this time to do it. We can even do a staggered plan. Maybe you have a great tax refund every year, but your monthly income is limited. I've done plans where at tax time we pay $1,000 onto the plan, maybe $250 the rest of the year. Trustees are fine with that. So long as you are creating a base that takes care of the creditor's interest in your case, they're very flexible in your creativity. What's also very good about the Chapter 13 case is you can pay as little as 1 cent on the dollar to your unsecured creditors, which in a lot of cases makes debtors feel more comfortable knowing they're paying something towards their debts. It also looks better in a credit report where it shows your discipline in successfully completing a Chapter 13 plan. So it is a wonderful plan that you have to adhere to over 5 years. Now, are there going to be times when maybe your heating goes out, when the car breaks down? Yeah, there probably are. In 5 years, a lot happens. Life goes on. And the courts have allowed what's called a moratorium. You can ask the court if you can please have 3 months of not paying the trustee so that you can take care of these issues. I've yet to have a request for a moratorium denied. You might find yourself in a motor vehicle accident where you lose your car. Again, the courts are very creative with helping you replace that car in the plan with another car so that you continue to be a wage earner. So it's a plan and a type of bankruptcy that means reorganization to the end. And at the end is discharge, just as in a 7, only it takes a lot longer to get there, but in the end, you are in a much better position financially.